UrbanSwirl.com. It's a local entertainment news blog. So how did you get involved with the Changing the Game project?
Well, my manager had a relationship with Rel Dowdell, and he had told me about the project that it had been going on in pre-production for about 5 years. He told me they were looking for the lead on it, and so I auditioned all the way in L.A. I sent in my tape, and my manager sent him a whole package, stuff that I did on YouTube, and just my clips of all of my acting. So he got adjusted on my personality and what I can do on the thespian side, but without conveying his message to his side. And next thing you know, I got involved with it, and he said I was good. And then he called me and said, well, it's the leading role. And I'm like, and I read, the script already, and I said, I'm this guy, Daryl? I'm like, wow. But the levels in it was something that I knew that I could do. And my manager believed in me because he's seen the stuff that I've been going through. And I said, I've been looking for a role that I can be challenged and really convey my story in my life and put it into a character. And Daryl was the perfect replica of something that I can really, get with. And talked to Rel and was like, yo, I'm on board. And I had been booked for like 4 months before the project getting shot, so I had ample time to prepare for it. So it was a blessing.
And how do you, the character of Daryl, how do you feel about him, his journey during the course of the film?
He has a beautiful journey. I mean, it's a journey because, the simple fact that we're all, no one's perfect. We're all human. And it shows a side that a lot of people don't see, because you see in most urban movies that somebody makes the wrong choice of doing things that are negative and they ended up in jail. But here's a story about somebody who comes out of the same slum and has a different situation and a different choice, and he goes on Wall Street. His journey to Wall Street is phenomenal because of the fact that he lost his father, he lost his mother. And both things that I can actually relate to, except for losing my mother, but I lost influential figures in my life growing up, one being my father. Me and Daryl shared that alike. Like, my father was murdered also. So just the journey out of that and just feeling like, abandoned, the abandonment, and coming out of abandonment and being an extroverted person, being introverted to an extroverted. Daryl is like a self-reserved character when he's young, but then all of the things that hurt him makes you strong. So from that to the end, I don't want to say too much about the end because then they're going to be like, oh, okay, I already know now. But just where he ends up in the end of the movie is really powerful, and its true essence of this is how life is, and you never know. And it's a scripture that I always relate to. It's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding, and in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. And this is the true meaning, the true essence of what this film conveys about just life is going to present its situations to you, and how you play them, it determines your outcome. So that's all I can say about it.
Oh, that's cool. How did you get started in acting?
I got started in acting really through hip-hop, dancing, but ultimately I was in college. I used to write in college for video production. My major was video production in college. I did theatrical performances there. I worked with an improvisational comedy troupe. When I was young, I did musical theater. I was just so bad, I could never stick with it. And my mother she'd definitely vouch for that, on how bad I was, but it was always in me. I used to when I was little. I mean, the secret is, when I was young, I would have my toys, and I would actually create a movie with my toys when I was little. And my mother knew then that that was just something starting right there. I just had this fantasy of just living in the world of, it never was the vanity part of it. It was the fact that you could go in certain worlds and be something else and live in that world and show that part of you to people, and it's a message. It helps people out. Movies are just like music. It's the key to a person's soul. So.
That's great. And so you've been working on Changing the Game for a while. Mm-hmm. Do you have any other projects up and coming?
Yeah, I have this movie called The Confidant. It's with David Banner, Billy Zane, Boris Cujo. We shot that last year. It's supposed to go to theaters this year. I finished a show called Party Down. I did a guest appearance on there with Megan Mullally from Real and Grace, Adam Scott, Veronica Mars, Lizzie Chaplin from Mean Girls. That's supposed to air coming up this season. The second season started April 23rd. So I believe my episode is coming up soon. I did that last year. I had an independent project called Unequal. It's a romantic comedy about a guy who falls in, goes for this girl as a challenge who is holding her virginity until she gets married because of her godly ways. But he manipulates like he's into church to get with the girl, and ultimately ends up getting turned on to God, getting saved and falling in love with you. But it's a romantic gospel, comedy, all of that. So much in that. Let's see, what else did I do last year? Did an independent comedy called Brainiacs in La La Land. They did some premiered it out in LA. It should be in the film festival circuit, or it should be on DVD. I know that. I hope they put it on DVD so I can get paid some more money. I did this project called Second Half. It's with AFI, the American Film Institute. It won a couple of awards for the film festival circuit that has been around. And it's been getting a lot of accolades, and it's still in the film festival circuit. That's just from last year alone. My first project was Bump the Yard, and that's what I actually did. When I was doing hip-hop dancing, I knocked out 2 birds with 1 stone. I got on with the project. The affirmations was that I wanted to get on and get my first acting role, so I would walk around in rehearsals just trying to look all cool. And then the director one day asked me in the hallway and said, read these lines, and I killed him. From there, that got me the recognition to get my foot in the door and take it from there. And I was in Bump the Yard came out in 2007, so it's been cool for now.
Okay, that's cool. So you've been filming here in the city of Philadelphia for a little bit. How do you find the city?
I find the city cool. I just don't like TGIF on City Line Avenue for some reason. They're just mean over there. They don't have great customer service. But when we got out, they've been definitely showing us love. I grew up in Chicago, so it was a tough neighborhood to grow up in. So a lot of the things that I see in Philadelphia when I'm driving around and I'm seeing everything together, and I'm just like feeling like I'm at home in a sense. But I feel like the camaraderie in the streets, they say it's bad, but it's not. Bad, as they say it. But I don't want to keep saying that too loud and be like, oh, you want to see that? But I've been loving it out here. It's been cool. They've been choosing a lot of great locations to shoot on too.
Okay. So now that you've been in Philadelphia, have you had a chance to have a cheesesteak?
Oh yeah, I had a chicken, Philly cheesesteak. I don't even know how to call it when I go over there. I asked them for barbecue sauce one time. They looked at me like I was crazy, like barbecue sauce. I'm like, oh, my fault. What y'all do? Mayonnaise and ketchup? Like, nah, I'm good with the mayonnaise. But I've had that chicken cheese Philly. I've been over on Delaware Avenue, the Delaware River, the Michelou or something like that. It's a ship, old school ship. I went on South Street, a bunch of stores over there.
Right.
Been up there, so I've gotten my way around, and I think we wrap on Monday, and I have like a few days off before the rap party, and then going back to LA. So I'm really going to explore around, just get just to the city.
Okay. So with the cheesesteak, cheese whiz or no whiz?
What's weird?
The liquid cheese.
Liquid cheese? Oh, I don't think I did the weird. I don't know if I said anything about Wiz. If they would have said that, I would have been like, Wizard of Oz? I wouldn't know what they were talking about. And this dude is wearing a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air shirt. I mean, before I came to Philly, I'm gonna tell you what I always thought about it was Will Smith.
Yeah.
I kept thinking it was gonna be a bunch of those characters walking around. Not the least.
No, that's nice.
I went to his mother's house though, and they had a house party right when I first came out here, and I met his sisters, and it's a real cool area, So it's a little different in Chicago, but yeah.
Well, thank